Hi everybody and welcome back to Liga Pro Roundup. For today's video, we will be breaking down Ecuador's match of the week number 3 between Liga de Quito and Universidad Católica. For today's video, I have invited 3 very special guests who will share their thoughts, analysis, and opinions about Ecuadorian referees in one-on-one interviews. What's the catch? The catch is that one of them is a neutral observer, the other supports Universidad Católica, and the last one supports Liga de Quito. So, do you think that in this video we will have similar opinions, similar analysis? Will they be completely different? Will their partisanship to a specific team cloud their judgment of what they were able to see? We will find out in this video. We're here with Martín Benítez, who is going to be our neutral commentator for our video. So Martín, could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Martín Benítez. I was born in Quito, Ecuador, raised in North Carolina in the US. I'm the person behind the Warriors of Ecuador, or at Ecuador Heroes, Twitter account and Instagram. How I'm connected with football, I am a graduate of the Superior Technological Institute of the Ecuadorian Football Federation, the FEF. It's basically a 3-year, 6-semester degree focused on football management, training, and physical preparation.
Fantastic, Martin. You're going to be our neutral commentator. You have no partisanship in this game whatsoever, correct?
Correct.
So let's start it off then. What do you think of Universidad Católica's performance in the match of the week number 3?
So taking it out of context, I think Católica played a really good game. We're going to see how a couple days before they played Copa Libertadores, phase 1. So they were coming to play Liga with their B team, not their full first team. Because also the next week, March 10th, they have to play Libertad, Paraguay team for Copa Libertadores again. So with this B team against Liga de Quito, I saw them defensively well-structured. They were containing Liga de Quito. Midfielders and the forwards would drop back. It would be 10, 11 players defending when Liga de Quito was in their attacking third. That's what I like about Católica. Liga, on the other hand, it was kind of hard because Liga had their full first team. They're only in one competition right now. They're playing only the Liga Pro in Ecuador. So I can see the frustration into the Liga fans watching this game. They weren't generating many chances in the attacking third. Católica would stop them easily, and it would just be another sloppy counterattack game, it looked like. Yeah.
And what do you think about the formation that Católica started with? It seemed to be quite defensive, but they did have 3 people up front. Do you think that they were trying to exploit counterattacking possibilities, or how did you see their formation?
Of course, I liked it. It was a 4-3-3 where many would think he would be coming back, but he was attacking most of the time. Mm-hmm. Great counterattacking play by Católica. I think they were testing something new to see what they could do with Liga. After the first half, Católica was kind of realizing like, hey, we can win this. And they started subbing in some of their starters in the second half to try to get the game back.
Excellent. Very good. And how about Liga? Do you think that they were lacking creativity? What was the issue? Why were they being stopped so easily in the final third?
I think Liga's form of play by Repeto is well thought. Also, circulating the ball, getting to the final third, crossing, taking a shot. But in that final third is where we weren't getting results. We weren't getting crosses, we weren't getting shots, let alone shots on target. So that's where I see the frustration by Liga players and fans.
And I have a question regarding this. Do you think that with the introduction of Luis Amarilla as a possible second striker, that's going to help the creativity in a sense? Will it open up spaces? What do you think about his possibility to come in straight into the team?
I definitely want to see him play. We've seen Amarilla in Católica a couple years ago, and he was an excellent player, one of Liga Pro's best players. I think if he comes back healthy for Liga, he will change that, create more chances, more play with the midfielders and forwards. And yeah, we want to see some goals.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share Liga de Quito's first goal. Can you please just run me through it? We're going to watch it together and you can run me through it as it plays, if that's all right.
Okay. Okay, Liga de Quito is circulating the ball, creating passes to get to that final third to try to generate a chance to score. We have passes from Johan Julio, Piovi, Alcivar. There we see Munoz with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Alcivar has the ball looking. He finds Franklin Guerra. This is all still circulating the ball, trying to find an outlet, try to get to that final third. Alcivar gets the ball to Piovi. Piovi finds Johan, who controls very well, dribbles, finds Chavo Cruz with a perfect through ball with his left foot.
That's
Chavo
fantastic.
receives the ball, and many were thinking he was going to cross the ball. Even Católica's goalkeeper, Hernan Galindez, who even stepped out of the line. But Cristian El Chavo Cruz shot it to that near post, got the goal, and it was actually his first goal for Liga de Quito.
Very good. So, what can you tell me about what was the positive thing that Liga de Quito did in the goal? What do you think was the biggest highlight of this goal?
I think just waiting, creating simple passes, waiting for Católica to mess up, just circulating left and right through the midfield. When Piovi found Johan Julio was able to turn, caught a defender out of position, and sent that through ball in. Where
Yes.
Católica then fell asleep for that 1 second. But at the same time, Católica's all the way back. So that one player who was guarding Chavo Cruz was actually a forward. I think it was Davidson Hama.
It was, I believe it was Daniel Valencia, the right winger.
Daniel Valencia, yep. He slept for 1 second, and there's the passing goal.
So do you think that the goal was more Liga de Quito doing things well, or was it just simply Católica switching off? How would you see it?
I would say Liga de Quito doing well, and it's a little bit of Católica sleeping in that one possession where Chavo Cruz is left wide open, but I think it's more of a Liga de Quito good goal.
I agree with you there. What I've been able to see, I did match of the week #1 with Liga de Quito 9 de Octubre, and now I did this one, and I just saw that they're abundantly patient with the ball. If they don't find spaces, they'll just go back to their defenders, play with the keeper. They're just an extremely patient team. And I think that oftentimes people don't think that about Repeto. They see him as a very negative tactician. But after seeing 2 matches, I've seen that he's extremely patient. And I think that that's one of the biggest qualities that this Liga de Quito team has.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
is that fair? Is that a fair comment?
That's a very fair comment. I think Liga is really patient, works well as a team, calms down, doesn't rush away to score a goal, doesn't put the ball in the box, doesn't have to. But at the same time, that's what frustrates the fan base. They want to see goals. If you're attacking, they want to see a cross or shot on that play.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I understand the frustrations from them. Mm-hmm. And then talking about that same goal with Católica. You said that they fell asleep, but I think that that's something that's expected if you're not playing your starting lineup and your team is defending so deep. You can't make any mistakes. So my question related to this is, had they played with their full starting lineup, would this have happened or not?
I think if Católica was playing with their A team, their first team, Liga de Quito was in big trouble, because we saw in the second half where starters of Católica were starting to sub in, and Liga de Quito it was kind of like, okay, let's have it end here. As Liga fans would say.
That's pretty fair. Excellent. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask you one more thing. Two incidents actually, were penalties. One against Juan Manuel Tevez, who had come on as a second half substitute, where Corozo, I think, slightly tapped him with his shoulder in the back. And then later on, there was a very contentious penalty decision as well, when Chavo Cruz ran into the box, and I believe Roxon Renteria was trying to catch up, and he used his body to touch Chavo Cruz's shoulder.
Yep.
Were, in your appreciation, these decisions correct or not?
At first, I was saying too soft of a play. The first PK was Manuel Tevez that got fouled by Corozo. That was the first one. I was like, how is that a PK when Corozo only, it looked like he just stuck his arm out, hit his back, and Tevez fell. After many views watching the videos again, because after the game, I was still like worried. And he does make contact. He does pushes off Tevez. I think if Ecuador La Liga Pro had VAR, I would say it would still be a PK.
Okay.
Because he does push off on him.
Okay.
And for Chavo Cruz, the foul by Renteria. Again, at first I was saying Chavo was looking for the foul, looking for the contact to fall. But if you have VAR and they check again, he does touch his shoulder and there's a part of his finger grabbing onto his jersey too, then it is a PK. So at first I was a little controversial, but I would say both are PKs. Yes.
Both correct decisions then.
Yes.
And I don't want to drag you into this argument, but I feel I have to. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think about the referees in the Liga Pro? What do you think?
I haven't liked it. They've been rather poor these 3 match weeks. And in many games, it's not just 1-2 games, it's 6-7 games. I don't know. I would love to see Ecuador have VAR because any ref, any person can mess up, but having that assurance with the VAR would be completely just amazing.
So to summarize your words then, not a good performance by referees so far this year. Very Correct. In favor of the video assistant referee being implemented.
I'm very in favor of.
Okay. Sounds fantastic. I'm sure some of your other colleagues that will participate in the video will have some varying decisions, but let's see what they say.
Oh, for sure.
And then I want to move on into individual performances right now. Who was your standout player for both teams, Liga de Quito and Católica, and which one do you think was the overall best player of the game?
Okay, so with Liga, I would say Cristian El Chavo Cruz, on the sole fact that he scored the goal. Many were looking for the cross, he shot it, goal. And on the second play, the PK, he was the one who got fouled in the box. So I would say Chavo Cruz.
Okay.
For Liga. For Católica, Universidad Católica, I would say this one's hard because I liked how they were playing without some of their stars that subbed in later. I liked how they were playing defensively. But when Juan Manuel Tevez subbed in minute 61, it took 4 minutes for him to get fouled in the box and to be a PK.
That's correct, yes.
He changed the entire dynamic of Universidad Católica and made Liga suffer. They just wanted the game to end. Católica wanted to keep playing. So I'm going to go with Tevez as the best player for Católica.
And overall, Cristian Cruz, is that your choice
overall,
for the man of the match?
Just for the result, the 2-1 win, I'm going to go with Cristian El Chavo Cruz.
Fantastic. I'm sure some people will agree with you there. And I just wanted to thank you a lot for participating in this video. As you know, it's a page that I started very recently, and I think that you've been following it almost since the beginning. So I just want to thank you for your participation, and I want you to let people know where they can find you if they want to read your content.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. First of all, I've been following your page from the beginning, since you've said. I have also started my page recently in December, literally. So I want to thank you for having me too. And you can find me on @EcuadorHeroes on Twitter or Instagram. It's also Warriors of Ecuador.
And what type of content do you produce in your page?
It's basically all coverage in English of the Ecuador national football team and its players, any news, analysis, scouting, any type of Ecuador soccer, I'm here for it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So you heard him. Warriors of Ecuador is your page. I'm sure we can add that at the end of the video so that people can follow you. And I just want to thank you again. Thank you for your expert analysis. And I will see you next time for sure, whenever I need some content giving.
For sure. Whenever you need it, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We have our second guest of the evening, Tomás Reece, who is going to give his opinion and his thoughts about match of the week number 3 between Liga Deportiva Universitaria and Católica. Tomás, can you please introduce yourself very quickly?
Hi, my name is Tomás Reece. I am from Ecuador. I am a fan of Universidad Católica, and I do not work as anything related to football. I am a translator, to be honest, and I'm very glad to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Begin telling me about your team's performance. What did you think about them?
Well, I think there was quite a difference between the first and the second half. During the first half, we really struggled against Liga de Quito. We didn't play well at all. It was very difficult to find the position of our midfield, mainly. The main problem was the performance of the youngster of Zamora. He didn't play well at all. He had a lot of trouble finding the proper place to play. So what really happened was that we were only playing one defensive midfield while he was playing in 3 forwards together with Ceballos. Ceballos played very well, but he didn't. So we had a lot of problems there. It was very difficult for us to defend because Oña had to defend on himself, both on the right and the left flanks. It was difficult also for both of the fullbacks, but Cortés had a very good job during the whole day. He played very well, while Nangono had plenty of mistakes that led to both goals, actually.
And did you agree with the formation? Did you agree with them putting out a second string team?
Yeah, I completely agree with the way in which the tournament plays at this time of year. It's absolutely okay to play like this. We have a very important game on Wednesday. We played on Tuesday, so our players have to be rested for Copa Libertadores, and I think it was completely logical to do it from the perspective of either Santiago Escobar, who is not here because of his treatment, and Wilson Cifuentes, who actually did a very good job as an interim manager this time.
Very good. And can you give me a little bit of your thoughts on the opposition? What did you think of them? Did they surprise you? Did they not?
No, I was not surprised. Liga usually plays like this. What really did surprise me was the performance of Cruz. Cruz played a very, very good match. He was very good attacking and didn't have a lot to do defending. He was involved in the first goal where he scored a very good goal. It was a very good definition after an outstanding pass by Julio. And in the second goal, he was fast enough and smart enough to let himself down when he was in contact with Renteria. I think he was a very good player. He was the most important part of the team. Martinez Borja played a very good job against the 2 center backs, and Católica also played well. But what really called my attention was the performance of Muñoz. Muñoz is usually very fast and extremely difficult defender to play against, and he didn't show it on Saturday evening.
I agree with you there. I think that their performance, I expected more from their team personally. Since they have one of the strongest teams in the division, in my opinion. And I think that they were lacking a little bit. I don't know if it was creativity, pace in the final third, but there was something missing that doesn't make them look like a complete team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they could have done a little better. I think they have a lot of hopes set on the two new players that they brought in, Amarilla and Kaprov. Kaprov saw his first minutes this time. I think he was in at the 98th minute. He wasn't able to do much. But still, they did a struggle. They didn't do a lot. Our team was not the best one, the best one we could have put out. So I think that with a complete team, we would probably have gotten the result.
Fantastic. So now what I want to do is I want to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you Liga de Quito's goal. I want you to walk me through what's going on, and then we'll discuss further on. So just run me through the goal.
All right. So they are doing what they usually do. So they start passing the ball from behind. Then there's a long ball that one of the players is able to bring down. And then there is a good pass. Then they continue playing. You can see that all our 11 men are behind the half goal line. And then this is really where it starts. So they pass it to, I think that's Guerra. Guerra passes it back. Then the ball goes to Piovi, who finds Julio, and then Julio does that. It's just a perfect through pass. And now, from the perspective of Universidad Católica, what really happened is that our right back, who should have been there, is not there. Anangono is actually playing as a third central back. So I don't know why he's there. I think that's a big problem that he needs to figure out, because it was shown in both goals. In the penalty, the reason why Jackson Pantoria has to go to that position and then create the penalty is because Anangonó was nowhere to be found. In this case, Valencia had to mark Cruz, and he just doesn't cut it. He's not very well suited for that type of jobs, and he wasn't able to do it. Cruz was very fast, and there was nowhere he could be found or met by any of our players. Then he places on the first post, which is kind of difficult to understand because Galíndez is not used to conceding there, but it still was a good shot. He had a lot of chance to either pass the ball or to give it to someone else. So it was difficult for Galíndez to know what was going to happen. So he decided to stay on the central position instead of choosing one of the posts. So that's the reason why the ball got in.
And so according to what you're saying, you think that it was more down to defensive problems with Católica than Liga de Quito being able to create something? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think that there's a little bit of both, because it's a very good chance. It's very interesting how Julio pivots the ball and then finds a space out of the blue. Mm-hmm. But it's also our problem because we didn't have anyone marking the player who should have been marked. Either our winger or our right back should have been there, and we are not. So that it's what leads to the goal, and eventually we didn't have enough men there.
Something that surprised me in particular about Liga de Quito is I've watched them 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row, and they're very, very patient with the ball. And I think that we were able to see that in the goal. They were not getting their opportunities, and they just kept on recycling the ball back to the goal, to the defenders, and playing it forward and trying to push our defense and shift them out. I thought that was something very interesting on that part. And then on the other side, I saw that Universidad Católica was defending very, very deep, which is not something that they generally do. So do you think that this goal would have happened with the full starting lineup, or was it something to do with the second string being there?
Oh, I think that the starting lineup wouldn't have allowed this goal to happen. I think that having 2 clear central midfields makes a big difference because we know where we stand. Mm-hmm. We didn't at that moment. So it was very clear because Facundo Martinez was subbed in at the beginning of the second half, and the team completely changed. It was a complete shift. So we were able to mark in a better way, and we were able to define where our players should have been. This didn't happen during the goal. And I also think that Anangonó perhaps needs a little bit more time with the team because he still doesn't know the strengths of the CBs, and he still doesn't know where our wingers are going to be. So we were lacking from Valencia. Valencia is not necessarily going to be our starter. So we need to see if he is really suited for there or if he should play in a different position because he previously played as a central forward or as a striker.
Very good. Now moving on to something that was a little bit contentious during the match. There were 2 penalty decisions, one in the 65th minute against Juan Manuel Tevez, and then one in the 75th minute against Cristian Cruz. Were they penalties? One of them? Both of them? Neither? What do you think?
None of them were penalties. None of them. Both of the players go extremely softly, which is something you would expect, but you just don't sanction those penalties because they're not. None of them are. You need something else to actually make a player fall. This is a contact game, so you need players to touch each other. It's not going to happen otherwise. And in both cases, it didn't happen. So this is something you can expect only from this referee. We've seen him make these mistakes over and over again, and we can continue seeing them. And it was clear that he was going to do the same thing after he conceded a penalty for Católica. We knew that at the first chance he had, he was going to have a penalty against Católica, and that's exactly what happened. So the exact moment when Renteria touched Cruz, he already had the whistle in his mouth. So it was clear that he was going to have this penalty. So it was very, very difficult to watch. It's always difficult to watch when he is officiating, and this time was not the exception. We know that referees are not the best in Liga Pro, but in further games we could see how other referees know better than sanction these penalties.
And okay, that was gonna be my next question. You said that the refereeing standard is not very good. On a scale from 1 to 10, what grading would you give the referees this season?
I think a 4.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very easy to see how many mistakes they make. If you just check the compact of a game after it, you can see how many mistakes were made, how many decisions are taken wrongly, how much they influence the game because they want to be the protagonists of the game and how little they know about the actual rules of football.
So my previous guest, the neutral observer, said that this would be fixed with the introduction of VAR. What do you think about this?
I think there would be a lot of changes, but at the same time, you know that they're going to be the ones behind the VAR. So there will be fewer mistakes, but they will be officiating in the same way. So the smallest contact will be sanctioned. I don't think that's going to change.
So bad referees, no VAR in your opinion?
Oh, no.
Okay, very good. And now, starting to close our conversation, who do you think was the best player from your team, from Liga de Quito, and the overall man of the match?
Oh, I think that the man of the match and the best player of Liga de Quito is clear and obvious. It was Cruz, I'm sorry. Cruz played a very good game. He was crucial in both goals. The first one with the actual goal. That's a very good goal. And the second one where he sprints very fast, gets in the perfect position, and gets the penalty from Renteria. He also didn't have a lot of problems against Valencia. So his match was very good overall. He didn't have anything to do in Liga's goal, so that's fine. In Católica's goal, actually. And then I think the best player in the match for Católica was Facundo Martinez. Even though he only played for half a match, he only went in the second half. He completely shifted the game. From the first minute he was in, you could see how Católica was now ordered, was playing differently. The players knew where to go. Oña played in a better position. Both of the wingers knew where they were. Also, the fullbacks started playing better. When he plays, the center backs know how to pass and where to pass. They always give him the ball because he knows what to do. So he changed the game completely. He changed the pace of the game, and he gives a lot of confidence to the team when he's on field.
And one final question. With the starting lineup, Católica would have won the game or no?
I think it would have been a very close game, but I think we could have won it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for your participation. Your points have been very, very good. Do you want to tell people if they can follow you somewhere, Twitter, Facebook, or anything that you may want to plug?
Well, if you want to follow me on my social media, you can find me at Tomás Reece in either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I don't post a lot of football stuff, but if you want to ask me any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you.
Thank you very much, Tomás, and hopefully you will be part of the videos in the future.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
And thank you. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I have my third guest with me. His name is Martín Villalba. He is representing Liga de Quito right now. So, Martín, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello to everyone. My name is Martín Villalba, and as my dad and almost my entire family, I support Liga de Quito in Ecuador. I work as a salesman, but sport journalism is my passion. I enjoy watching sports. I love to watch football teams that practice an agile, offensive, fast, and attractive game. My connection with football started with my dad carrying me to watch Liga since I was 6 years old. Now I'm 31, and I'm a die-hard fan of AS Roma in Italy since 2001.
That's fantastic. Yeah. At the end of the video, I will add your Twitter link so that people can follow you in your excellent account dedicated to Roma particularly. I want to ask you a question about the match. What did you think about your team's performance?
Okay, let's see. Liga's performance on last Saturday game was surprising, but in the bad sense of the word. Even though on the first half, Liga looked like that solid team that Repetto constructed last year before the World Cup qualifiers. In the second half, Liga looked like a relegation squad, which gave me negative thoughts and memories about the way how we finished the last season. For me, it's annoying to have to change like this between the first half and the second half, because we have one of the highest badges on Ecuadorian football, and Universidad Católica played with second team. Sorry.
So you touched a little bit about Universidad Católica's performance with them starting with the second team. What did you think of them? Did they surprise you?
Yeah, Católica surprised me because Católica is the kind of team I love to watch, even if I don't consider myself to be a fan of them. The hands of Sachi Escobar and his philosophy appeared even in this B lineup they took to Casablanca. On the first minutes, they looked like a little bit lost and Liga dominated the game, but when Tevez and Chalak came into the field, they made a huge difference. Liga was confused and uncomfortable, and then the penalty kick situation appeared. But I see this penalty kick as a consequence of the great offensive display that La Chato had on the first minutes after the first time.
That's interesting. So you were surprised by them. I was also surprised by the second team being so offensive in the second half, particularly after the changes came in. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me, please.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I want to now that you're talking about the teams. I want to start saying that for me, Católica's talented players were Tevez and Chalá. Chalá even had the opportunity to score at the end of the match, and also Alzugaray. I think that he will be the key player for Católica this season. He has been very decisive these last games. And I also want to highlight Davinson Hama's performance. Soon he will be one of the most interesting wingers of the league, and we always have to remember that he's only 22. But on Liga's side, my standout player was Cristian El Chavito Cruz, essentially because of his offensive phase, let's say, his offensive phase execution. He scored the goal, and also his defensive phase performance wasn't bad at all. He reminded me of his version, of his 2018 version, and I think Luis Ayala is going to be on the bench for the entire season.
Excellent, fantastic.
Finally, yeah.
We will come back to discuss a little bit of that further on. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you Liga de Quito's first goal. I'm going to run it down for the people who are watching, and then I want at the end of the video for you to share your thoughts on the goal. Okay?
Great.
So here we have Liga de Quito starting the ball off in the defensive third. They move the ball well, quite a lot. They're very patient. Then they try to find spaces with their more creative players, with Julio, with Munoz. Then when they cannot find the spaces, they try to go back to their defense in order to shift all of the defensive line away. When they can't find a clear pass, they do not panic. They're very patient, and they just move the ball around, trying to shift the defense still there. Once they are able to find a free player, this is where it all starts. Julio provides a beautiful ball in, which Cruz just runs onto and takes a first-time shot, leaving Galindez without any possibility to react.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you is, what did you think about this goal? Did you think it was something that Liga did well, or was it an error from Católica's side?
I think there's no Católica error at all. I see two high points there. The first one when Julio opens that play. I mean, I'm referring to the final part of the play, right? So the first one comes when Julio opens the play and finds a chance to make that great pass between lines. And the second one is that movement that Munoz makes to clear the way. I mean, you can see he clears the way, he takes the center back away from his position and allows Cruz to make a great movement, displaying himself as an offensive player. Also, the definition was clinical. Nothing to do for Galindez, although he's one of the best keepers in our tournament. For me, it's a great offensive play. There's not too much to criticize about Católica's defense.
That's interesting that you say this because the two last guests that we had on did consider that there was a defensive mistake on Católica, although they did also highlight the positive play from Liga de Quito. Now, I want to move forward to a point you touched on before. You discussed your best players of the match, and you highlighted Cristian Cruz. Was he your overall man of the match?
Yeah, for me, he was the overall man of the match. Absolutely. Cristian, I like Cristian a lot. I like him a lot. And for me, I mean, I want to speak before speaking of Christian. I want to speak of one important thing. One of the high points in the team were the guts of Martinez Borja to take that penalty shot and convert it, especially after missing. We have to remember he missed the 2 penalty kicks on the 2 last finals, right? On the 2 versus Delfín and versus Barcelona. So he's got the guts, and that's fine. But to answer your question, Chavo Cruz was spectacular, and I'm glad for him. 2 years ago, he had this horrible injury versus Boca in a quarterfinals game for Libertadores Cup. Maybe a few of you remember that injury. And last year, he wasn't able to reach his better level. So I hope he can keep going this year and become as substantial for the team.
Very interesting. You touched a little bit about the penalty. There were 2 penalty decisions given, one for a foul against Tevez, and then one for a foul against Christian Cruz by Robson Renteria. Was the ref correct in one of those? 2 of those? Were they both incorrect? What do you think?
Quoting Jose Mourinho, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. No, just kidding. For me, football is a contact sport. So if refs start to whistle all the contacts that are similar to the one that Corozo had on Tevez and the one that Renteria had on Cruz, we're going to have matches with 9 penalty kicks. Both PKs for me are huge errors. I know that the referees can make mistakes, but to a certain extent, I doubt if the second PK was an honest mistake or was intended to compensate my team for the penalty that he gave to Católica a few minutes before.
I agree with you. And one final question about the referees. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think national referees have been this year?
This year, they barely reach a 6.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I would agree with generally on that. Our first guest actually, said that he would like to see the video assistant referee, the VAR, implemented. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, that would be beautiful. And but I will ask them. I mean, if VAR comes to Ecuador, I would ask them to have the same criteria to judge all the plays.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing. I don't think that they will achieve that.
Yeah, because that's the VAR main problem, right? I mean, not here in Ecuador. We had VAR 2 times on the finals and once on Clásico del Astillero. But on the whole world, the problem is the criteria they use to judge and to whistle some players also, and some teams.
Yes, I agree with you there. Well, thank you for your participation, Martin. It has been wonderful to have you participating for your analysis. Before we go, can you tell people where they can find you on Twitter if they want to read your brilliant Roma page?
Thank you, Diego. It has been an honor. I hope this is not the last time that I participate in Roundup Pro. I enjoyed this a lot. So if some of you are watching us and like to know more about AS Roma or the Italian football, Il Calcio, you can follow me on Twitter at Roma Latam, Roma like the team, and Latam from Latin America, and listen to me on my podcast or read me on my articles in planetaroma.net. Planeta as planet plus an A, and Roma as the team again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. We'll add your name to the video so that people can find you. Thank you very much, Martin. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Bye.
So there we have it. Those were our 3 panel members for our Ecuador's match of the week, number 3 between Liga de Quito and Universidad Católica. We had 3 wonderful guests who were able to share their opinions, what they thought about the match, and also the very important point about referees and the VAR. Hopefully you enjoyed our video, and if you did, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, and click on the little bell to receive more information when our new videos come out. You can also follow us on Twitter at RoundupPro, and hopefully I will see you next time.